Hello everyone, in this episode of Ask the Oracle, we continue to play Ezd6 Solo, Pest Control. Welcome to MJ Hobby Corner. This is another episode of Ask the Oracle, and in this video series we will be playing a wide variety of solo RPGs. We will be experimenting with a lot of different techniques, basically anything I have in my arsenal to experiment with and try out different techniques for solo roleplay, see what I like best. We will be trying out different kinds of Oracle systems, tables, and, well, anything that pertains to solo RPG. If you want to help support the channel, you can certainly do so by becoming a YouTube member or checking out our Patreon. You can also check out my scratchbuilder monthly on Wargames Vault. All right, so let's continue and see where we are on Ask the Oracle. Here is my little navigational tool, the Hex Flower. And Raza and her party are represented by the small Orcian figure. And then that portion of the journey is represented roughly here, in here somewhere, in this part of the old map. And here is Grimerest. So Raza and her party would have been traveling this way, following Sputnik, and we are going to portray the journey with this hex tool. If you haven't seen the episode prior to this, do check it out as I discuss the hex tool. I am using a different method that I showed in that video, so hopefully it'll be clear in this video. Each hero is getting awarded 3 karma at the beginning of the game. So each hero now has a total of 6 karma. And I am capping it at 6. In standard Ezd6, heroes have no limit in the amount of karma that they can earn. However, for purposes of this solo play, I am capping it as it gives me makes the resource more important, gives me more of a challenge, okay? So I am capping it at a point where players can still buy, heroes rather, can still buy a hero dice if they need to. Raza and her party leave the forest town of Grimerest and enter the Blackthornwood. The trees are tall, very dark bark, and filled with small, thorny projections. Prickly, Raza mutters to herself as they follow Sputnik through the tall trees. All right, so we get to a part where the game trail that Sputnik is taking them through splits. So let's make a choice. I'm going to say Sputnik takes them through here. So in order to get out of this hex, we have to roll 4d6 using Ezd6 search probability that is in the back of the book. So using a search probability of 4d6, we need a 6 to succeed, and then there is an encounter possibility of 1 or 2, meaning the white dice, if it rolls a 1 or a 2, there is an encounter. So let's see if we can get out of here and not get lost. Yes, we roll. Oh, well, we roll enough to get out of the hex, so Sputnik delivers us safely through this region, but there is an encounter as well. All right, so now we have to roll a d20, and I have my little encounter table here, so I'm rolling a d20. Okay, the result was a 13. About half a day's travel into the Blackthornwood, 3 terrified goblins run past Raza and the party. The goblins, let me see if Raza can recognize them. Does Raza recognize them? Let's ask the Oracle. Does Raza recognize any of the goblins? Okay, and I'm just going to give it a 50-50 chance. See if she can recall who they are. Rolled a 2. No, she does not recognize them. Neither does Varric. And does Scar know any of them? Yes, Scar roughly recognizes the goblins as they run through, but he doesn't really know them. He doesn't know who they are, really. He just seen them around in town when he arrived with the war chief. So the Oracle has spoken, and basically the goblins just run terrified. They don't even stop. Raza and her party just kind of look as they seemingly run away. One of them with a scimitar in hand, and one of them is yelling, leave, leave, leave if you can. You're a fool if you go forward, he yells out. Varric just grumbles. Cowards, he says, and they continue moving. All right, so we can get into this hex now after that brief encounter with Runaway Brazen. And now we're in that hex. Okay. A small pond sits in the way of the party. There is some webbing in the trees. The trees are still tall here, but not as many blackthorn trees as in the previous region. There's more vegetation here as the canopy opens up and lets the sun in. You have thickets of all kinds of vegetation, a green wall of vegetation in front of us. So there is a small pond here, and the ground is a little bit rougher. So to get out of this hex, Sputnik has to lead us. I want to avoid this middle region here, so Sputnik is going to try to lead us here. And I want to ask the Oracle another thing. Does Sputnik really know where he's going? I'm going to give that again, I'll give it a 50-50, just because he was chosen to lead us since he's been here before. I'm going to give him a 50-50, but that's it. So I'm asking the Oracle, does Sputnik really know where he's going? Is he leading us the right way? A 5. Yes, the Oracle has spoken. Sputnik is leading us the right way. He's a little bit iffy on all the details of where he was earlier, but this is a recognizable region. Okay, so let's move on. Sputnik's going to try to lead us here. The woods here are a little thicker. There is a pond here. We've been traveling for half a day into this region, and if we travel here, that's another half day, so that's a full day's travel, and then we will probably have to camp there. So okay, rolling a 3d6 this time with the encounter dice, because it's a little bit harder to get out of here. And let's see, we need a 6. Okay, all right, there is no encounter. The white dice gives us no encounter. However, we do get lost, so we have to roll. So Sputnik's memory failed him. Oh, I think it's this way. It fails him, and now we roll on the template, which is a 3, and this is the lost template. And a 3 puts us, okay, in the adjacent hex. Now we got lost, so we have to roll an encounter. Anytime we get lost, we have to roll an encounter, regardless of what the encounter dice says. And we rolled a 7. Okay, 7 for the encounter, as we get lost in a region we don't recognize. So, as Sputnik stands there scratching his head, sniffing the air like a dog, trying to gather in the new surroundings to see if he remembers a way out of here, Raza catches sight of a heap of gooey slime that is glowing green. It covers the base of a tree a few steps away and part of the ground surrounding the tree. Raza excitedly points to the glowing heap of slime. Look over there, she says as she rushes over to the area. The glowing slime captures the attention of Varric and Scar, who then crouch on either side of Raza to inspect the strange liquid. Is it magic? Is it magic? Raza repeats to Scar. Scar inspects the slime. Let's see if he knows anything about the slime. He does know about magic. He is a conjurer. We still don't know much about his conjuring abilities. He hasn't really told the party what kind of arts he practices, but he does know of magic. So I'm going to say I'm going to give it a likely, which is a +1 to the Oracle. And let's see, I need to roll a d6. +1, yes. He instantly identifies the fluid as some kind of blood. But whatever this blood is, it is magical. So it's some kind of body fluid, probably blood, with strong magical properties. What kind of magic, he is not sure, but we can continue on the journey. Sputnik suddenly remembers something about this area, and he locates the game trail that they were following again. So the only way is to move out this way. So he's gonna head northwest. That's where he picks up the game trail again. Now to get out of this hex, it's a 3d6. And we're gonna add the encounter die. 3d6. Whoop, this one came out, and yes, he rolls, but there is an encounter. It is now dark, and the party has been traveling for a day now, a little over a day now. They definitely need rest, so it is time to camp. Sputnik has led the party through a heavily vegetated area now. The game trail is obscured here and there by patches of ferns, mosses, and other things. The trees are not as tall in this region, but the canopy is still thick. The ground is moist and covered in moss. The party begins to set camp. They decide to set up near a large tree stump with roots that still spring out of it. And the roots do have the shape of the roots form a makeshift shelter. And so the party decides this is where they will camp. I'm going to roll a spot check for Raza. And see, it's going to be a, well, it's kind of dark. She does have dark vision. I'm going to leave it as a 3+ spot check. Let's see. She rolls a 4, so yes. So while Raza is off collecting some tinder for the fire, she notices strands of webbing all over the trees near the camp. As she looks further, there is a dangling, what appears to be a bunch of dangling masses up above. It's an area where the webbing suddenly thickens into like these almost cocoon-like structures, and they hang over the trees. Raza swallows hard and returns to the party. We need more kindling than that, Scar protests as Raza returns with a small pile of kindling, too small to do much effect for the fire. Raza simply shakes her head and describes what she saw not far from the camp. So again, Scar, Varric with club in hand, follow Raza to the region where these cocoon-like structures are hanging from the trees, and there is webbing all around. Scar instantly snaps his fingers and mutters something in Orcish, and a purplish winged creature, imp-like creature, suddenly settles on his shoulder with a flash of light, and the imp-like creature, obviously a familiar, is then given an order by Scar, and it flies up into the area of the webbing carefully. It manages to sever one of the lines, one of the hanging silk-like threads that is attaching one of the cocoons, and the cocoon falls. The creature then returns to Scar's shoulder, clawing at its mouth, all this sticky material from the webbing in its mouth, and it's just clawing its mouth and hissing. But it followed Scar's orders, and the cocoon hits the forest floor with a thud. As it did so, it splits open, and there is the body of a goblin. The goblin's corpse is completely dried up, as if its insides have been sucked out. There are two large holes in its chest where its armor is. This particular individual was certainly one of the brazen that were here to supposedly take care of this issue. And here he is, dried up, basically a dried up husk. Still a little bit of fluid in the body, but not much. Now, this goblin is wearing a medallion that instantly attracts Raza's attention, and she carefully removes it from the dry husk, almost severing the head as she did so, and inspects the medallion. She holds it up to Scar, and he inspects it, but he detects nothing magical in it. Still, it's a shiny. Do these cocoons tell you anything about the creatures we will be up against? Varric grumbles. Raza looks up at the cocoons. She searches her mind for some information on the creatures, the giant spiders that may be behind this, the actual species of giant spider that these cocoons may belong to. But she doesn't recall anything like this. She has dealt with giant spiders in the past, but the cocoons that they often capture their prey in are very different from these hanging cocoons. It's just something she hasn't seen before. Nope. I've not seen this before. This is something new, she says. And then she looks down at the corpse and thinks, this is not a good sign. This is the second party out of all the parties that they saw earlier in the town. They haven't seen any other parties in the area. And what they have seen is one party running desperately out of the woods, and now what appears to be another party simply hanging upside down, cocooned, their bodily fluids sucked out, dry. I don't know, Varric. I'm starting not to like this, she says. Scar, hearing this, intervenes. Well, we signed up for this mission. We will see it through, eh? Varric eyes a Scar with a bit of an incredulous look. We will do what's best for us, Conjurer, he says. No matter how much coin we receive, if we end up like them, it won't be worth it. You can continue alone if you wish. Scar just grumbles and snaps his fingers. Naga, his little imp, disappearing as he does so. We can consider our options after some rest, he says. Varric nods, Raza agrees, and takes one last look at the hanging corpses. There is no movement, nothing seems alive up there, so they quietly return to camp. First watch, this time the encounter, I'm going to put it as 1 through 2. So, Raza's watch goes without a problem. Scar, not a problem. Varric rolls a 1. The sky is still quite dark, so is the forest, and suddenly there is movement up ahead, and Varric hears the echoes of battle. Varric's ears instantly perks up, and he wakes the others. As the others awaken, they hear the sounds of battle, and it's not that far. They're actually they're echoing through the forest and too close to the camp for comfort. So Varric gathers his club, and the group, groggily but steadily, head towards the sounds of the battle. The party follows the sounds of battle to a clearing, with Sputnik nervously in tow. There is a pond glistening in the moonlight, but ahead of them, they see 2 giant spiders, each the size of a large bear. One of the spiders holds a twitching goblin in its jaws. Suddenly, the jaws clamp tighter, and there's a sickening crunch as the goblin body goes limp. Varric looks down at his little goblin companion, Raza, and says, "Steel yourself, Raza. Let's go earn some coin." Okay, so Raza has her bow out. Each goblin figure can move 2 hexes, a distance of 2 hexes. And we're going to say that that's each hex is 10 feet. So 20 feet for the goblins. And then the larger creatures will be 30 feet. So they can move 3 hexes. Varric and the orc conjurer can move 3 hexes. And we have the little imp here, which Scar has summoned again. And so that's the little imp following Scar in the air. Okay, so the little imp can fly 4 squares, so he has a good distance. Okay, so Raza moves to this square here with her bow. She sees the giant spider. Now, goblin bows have a range of 3 hexes, so it is within range. She needs a 3 to hit. She has a boon to ranged attacks. So, and she used up her free action to, we're going to say that her bow was already in her hand when they came here. So, she used her movement. Now she's using her standard action. And yes, a 4 definitely hits. And the spider takes 1 strike. These spiders have 3 strikes apiece, so it now has 2 strikes left. And actually, what I think I'm going to do is just put the strikes that it has remaining face up. All right, so Raza fires an arrow and does some damage. There is a crunch as the arrow penetrates the chitinous plates of the spider. Now Varric moves. So Varric moves 1, 2, 3. He's going to move as close to the spider as he can with his giant club. Okay. Now Sputnik is scared as hell. So Sputnik's gonna have to, he's gonna have to roll a morale check. So I'm gonna give it a difficulty of 4+ to see if he can move. He really doesn't want to be here. Sputnik rolls a 3 and no. So Sputnik stays frozen in fear in that little hex there. So he's not very useful. Now Scar is going to race past Sputnik, muttering some orcish curse at him. 2, 3. He's going to move 3 spaces here with Naga in tow. And yes, he does have a clear range there. So Scar lowers his staff and mutters some words in Orcish. The staff begins to glow purple at the tip and fires a ball of purplish necrotic energy at his target. All right, so he's going to use power 2 for the spell. That it means 2 dice, but the spider rolls magical resistance of 2 dice. So let's see what the magical resistance of the spider is first. Let's see. Oh, okay, a 2. Also needs a 2 or over to successfully damage the spider. Okay, so Scar rolls with 2 dice because it is a power level 2. And yes, the spell, the necrotic energy slams into the spider and does another strike, leaving the spider with 1 strike left. Okay, so that was Scar's turn. Sputnik is down here shaking in his boots. And now it's the spider's turn. Okay, so this spider is going to drop the dry husk of the goblin that it just sucked dry. And it's going to go towards the closest brazen, which is here. Spiders, by the way, have a movement of 4 squares. So they're pretty fast. We're going to keep his damage die with him. And now he attacks Varric. Hit Varric and needs a 3+. The spider rolls 1 die. It rolls a 2 as this giant spider rushes into Varric with its jaws wide open, trying to snap at his huge form. Varric lowers his club with a quick, brisk movement and blocks the spider. Okay, so that's the end of that. Now this spider is going to move towards the closest enemy, pushing the shrubs aside. The shrub falls into the pond. Spiders do have poison. If they hit, the target is poisoned. If they roll a 6 on one of their hit, their target is also webbed. Now these creatures cannot crit. So instead of a crit, that's what they do. They spin a web on you. So it rolls a 3. It definitely hits a Scar. Okay. It hits Scar for 1 strike. Let's see. Scar does have some armor, though. He has armor 6. All right, so very light armor. Scar's going to roll his armor. He needs a 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. He would have to use his 3 karma to block that hit. And then that's what I'm going to do. He's going to use all 3 karma. Doesn't manage to actually get a hold of him. So that's what I'm going to do. He has no karma left. So any future hit is going to be bad. Raza is going to use her free action this time. Spider's turn is over and it is now back to the brazen. And Raza is going to use her free action to pull her scimitar. She's then going to move the 1 space and charge in to help Varric. Now she has a boon in melee because she's a tough little goblin chick. And she is going to roll with a boon. She needs a 3+ to hit. That is correct. And she rolls a possible crit. Okay. That is possibly another hit. Yes. 2 hits. More than enough to kill the giant spider. It has 0 strikes left. And suddenly the giant spider thrashes, turns upside down, and its legs curl underneath. It is motionless. All right, 1 giant spider left. I think Varric is gonna just simply turn on this hex and aid Scar, who is in trouble. He needs a 3+ to hit. He does hit, doing 1 strike on this giant spider. It has 2 left. All right. Now, Naga is a familiar. It can't really attack. Let's see what Scar does. Scar can hit the spider with his staff. And that's what I think he's going to do now. Yeah, he's in combat, so he's not going to be able to cast a spell. He's just going to try and hit the giant spider. He has no boons with the staff, so he's just going to try to hit it. Oh! He rolls a 1 and nothing can save. Now, he could use up his hero dice. So let's burn his hero die. And now he rolls a 5. So now he's burned his karma and his hero die. He rolls a 5, doing another strike to the spider as he jabs a pointy part of the staff into it. There's a bit of a crunch on the spider's chitinous plates as he does that. Alright, well that's the end of the hero's turn. And now it's the giant spider. Now, giant spider has only 1 strike left, but it is going to strike Scar. For the spider, it rolls a 1. Yes. That is a complete failure. Alright, let's see. So the spider rolls miserably, and now we're back to the heroes. Let's go to Raza. I think Raza is just going to move around the spider. There is rough terrain here, so we're going to say that she moves here across the rough terrain, which takes some of her movement. She's going to move towards the husk of the goblin and maybe try to come around the giant spider if she can. So now Varric moves, and he's going to hit with his giant club. He still has karma left. So let's see. Oh, he rolls a crit. All right, a possible crit. So that's 1 hit. Confirming the crit. Another 1, 2, another crit. And 3 hits. A loud bugbear roar. He takes the club and swings it down in a powerful blow that strikes the spider in the center. And there's a loud crunch as it breaks apart the carapace, and the spider thrashes upside down, its legs curling beneath it. It is destroyed. And there's all this green, gooey substance now that is glowing, that is actually pouring out of the giant spiders. So they can confirm now that that gooey fluid they found before is actually some of the spider blood. Okay, combat is over. Raza can now inspect the goblin. Well, what is the likelihood that she finds something? I'm going to give it a 2d6. She has to roll a 6 with the 2d6 to actually find something. She doesn't find anything of value. Sorry, Raza. Nothing of value on the goblin. It's a completely dry husk right now, as the spider drained its fluids before the heroes attacked. So, okay, that ends the combat with these particular giant spiders. Now they have an idea of what they're dealing with. And Sputnik here is still shaking in his boots. You can remove the giant spider that symbolizes the combat, and now it's just about dawn. The first light is coming through the trees of the forest. Okay, folks, we're gonna stop it right here. Here is Raza and the party. They're getting very close to the objective. We will get there by the next series of turns in the next video. We will definitely see them get to their objective and play it accordingly. All right. Thank you for joining me on this section of Ask the Oracle, another easy D6 solo game. By the next game, we should reach the objective. We're very, very close. So it seems like Sputnik is terrified. Will he last any time longer with the party? I mean, he's terrified. He doesn't really want to be here. And by the time we reach the objective, there will be no more Sputnik. He's definitely going to be gone at the time we reach the objective. But will he leave sooner? We'll have to see in the next video. First thing he needs to do is roll another morale. He stayed for the combat, but after seeing the giant spiders again, we're going to have to roll another one during the navigation check of the turn and see if he stays with the party or not. So far, he's navigated us pretty good. He has played a role, even though he's pretty useless in combat. All right, so Scar has burned his hero die. He only has 3 karma left. In the next game turn, he's going to be awarded some more karma for some of the dice failures. And he is going to be awarded the 3 standard karma at the beginning of every game. So he will be able to purchase a hero die. He's going to have very low karma, I think, for the beginning of next game. Raza and Varric are at their peak. They didn't use their hero dice. And Varric did that beautiful swing with the club, killed the spider in 1 shot. So thanks to the exploding 6 mechanic of Easy D6. So, all right, folks, thank you very much. I hope to see you in the next Ask the Oracle. This is an ongoing series where we will be exploring a wide variety of different RPGs played solo. Have a good one, and I'll see you on the next Ask the Oracle.